We have got chills, they're multiplying, and it's all down to our guest today because he's made his name alongside Kylie in Neighbours, and he spent over 4 decades in showbiz, including that iconic stage role in Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Now he's treading the boards again in the West End musical Grease. Please welcome the teen angel himself, Mr. Jason Donovan.
Yay!
All right. Thank you, guys.
Looking like a teenager still.
Oh, thank you, guys. Lovely to be here, and yeah.
That short hair and pale blue jacket looks fab.
Well, it's I've just been in Australia for I think 3 months, or yeah. So I've got a few extra things in the wardrobe from my Australian trip, and this is one.
Right, it's nice to see. I know that you've been here, watching the show and things that we talk about. We were talking about success coming early, so we were talking about the tennis at the weekend. And did you find success difficult when you were young? Did you see it coming? How did you deal with it? Were your family and friends supportive?
I mean, look, the first thing I'd say to you is, how do you measure success? You know what I mean? For some people it is, financial. For some people it's health. For some people it's passion. I knew what I wanted to do from a young age in terms of, being an artist and being an actor. I mean, most of the actors I talked to at the time tried to steer me away from that. That's because my father was an actor. But I got lucky. I think in life you create your own luck, but I do think timing plays a lot to do with how we live our lives. But yeah, I don't know how you process what I went through, to a certain degree. What I do know is that my family played a massive part in my grounding, and the reason as to why you become successful has to be your passion and your craft, and you never lose sight of that, particularly in this business where it's...
And who gives you the job in the first place? It's like the person who, at a very young age, gave you the job on Neighbours.
On Neighbours, yeah. Well, that was a lady called Jan Russ, who was a casting director. But I'd done a lot of shows before Neighbours. Yeah, that's a mullet.
That is a mullet.
I mean, that's the first thing I see is the mullet. So, but it is, it is a difficult thing to sort of, talk to people about, because every person has a different story. But I keep saying back to Jemma, my daughter, who's in the business as well.
She's in Hollyoaks.
Yeah, she, keep your eyes on the craft. Let everything else, happen. Just keep focus on the acting, and who you meet on your way up is who you're meeting the way down. And
were you pleased when she kind of followed in your footsteps, or were you a bit scared for her?
Colin, I wanted her to... I don't care what my children do, as long as they're happy and passionate.
Yeah, but it can be a tough business, can't it? Because there can be a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
And as a parent, then you want to go in and shout at people.
Yeah, I mean, it is... acting is a very competitive field, and social media also is a very... that landscape is very different than when I was... in my day, but
oh, it's not our day, Jason.
It's not our day.
That's what my kids keep telling me.
But again, as I'm sure you would say, it's about your passion and about your craft and about keeping focused on that, which is sort of...
When you talk about your day,
yeah.
I mean, you and Kylie both went back for the final episode of Neighbours, thinking it was the final ever episode.
Cheeky.
And then, now it's the reboot is coming. They're in production at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
So what do you think of it being resurrected?
Look, we went back because of one reason and one reason only. You never forget where you came from, and I'd been asked many times over the years to go back to Neighbours, but it's a bit like putting on an old pair of shoes, it just doesn't feel right, doesn't fit anymore, but... that show changed my life. It changed Kylie's, it changed Guy's, and there's a number of actors. And also my father fought very hard in the 70s in Australia for Australian stories. And Neighbours was a moment in time where, I guess, in England and the rest of the world, we suddenly fell in love with Australia as suburban people as opposed to Crocodile Dundee. We're not all on the barbie every day. Do you know, that's not what we do.
Were you surprised at how it got axed and then it seemed like a week later it got...
Well, I mean, that was surprising. I'm not going to lie, but I sort of figured it might come back, but I didn't think as quickly as it sort of did. But that's a testimony... was it testament?
Testament.
Testament. That's it. Thank you. That's a testament to the moment we had probably 18 months ago, where, as a result of, you know, its currency and what it did for people, came back. You know, people came back and said thank you. You know, thank you for what it's given us.
Well, there was so much press around it at the time. Maybe that's what they gave them the idea.
Well, that's
like, why are we letting this go?
I'm sure Amazon thought, you know, I think it got 1.8 million viewers here.
But you would go back as the dad now or something else.
Sorry?
You wouldn't be that young guy along with Kylie. You'd be going back into Neighbours as the older man.
Older guy, yeah. Well,
you would hate that.
Thanks, Cora. I mean, that's the gravity I expected. I didn't expect that, but I'm happy. I agree. That's why we only went in there for a day. So.
Oh, no, listen, your gravity actually was the loincloth.
Yes.
In Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. No, I'm telling you, people never forgot that loincloth, did they?
They didn't forget that loincloth. No.
Obviously, Gloria didn't.
Let's talk about what you're doing now.
Yes,
So
Greece.
you're back
Yes.
in Greece.
Yeah, in the West End.
Because it was so successful last time.
It
Such
was.
a great show. Your Teen Angel. There you are, the great costume.
I really... You know, I had a great time there last year. I start again in the West End on the 14th of August. I'm in there for 3 months. It's a great company. It's a great show. You mentioned the word Teen Angel, but really I wanted to play Sandy this year. But the producers just said no. They said no.
And speaking of which, this year's production is being dedicated to the wonderful Olivia Newton-John. That's amazing.
Who is a Melbourne girl, and I'm from Melbourne. And, you know, I mean, that show, you know, in Australia was massive, probably to do with Olivia. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be with a young company and, you know, some great talented people in there. And
I mean, it's quite a cameo role.
It is.
Are you enjoying that? Say, great,
well,
come on, do my bit, put my feet up, watch
Ruth,
from the side.
it means on Sunday I'm not in physio, you know. And I quite like balancing my year with some stuff that is chunky. I've just done the Rocky Horror Show in Australia, which is sort of exhausting, but a lot of fun. So to do this is a sort of a nod to the moment. But that look, actually, the look that you see, Teen Angel, was something I was quite keen to develop myself. I looked at sort of David Bowie from that sort of, you know, early 80s era, and I said, I don't really want to be that 50s. I want to be that sort of, you know, that serious Moonlight sort of China girl type.
You like that costume, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And the look came off really well. So hopefully the pipes will... Brenda was singing in the corridor before, I swear. I mean, the rooms were... It was like a tsunami.
I tried to get him to sing along with me.
I know. I'm resting my voice today. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
It's OK.
I don't know what to say. So anyway, all is good. All is good. It's good to see you guys here working hard.
We're still here. We're still clinging on, Jason.
You're still clinging on. The summer of 23.
Greece, the musical, is at the Dominion Theatre in London. Jason's in it from the 14th of August to the 28th of October.
Yes, thank you.
As the Teen Angel in that gorgeous costume. Lovely to see you. Love to all the family.
Thank you.
And come back and see us any time. Jason Donovan.